Interesting you should mention that, because we do have a question or two about perhaps your own ultimate aspirations. Do you plan to run for office? Do you want to run for office? And if so, how would you clean up the government?
Well, a quick story. I was asked to run for senator in New Jersey about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. We were at a dinner table in New York. My wife was seated across from me at the table. I'd already told these people that I did not wish to run. These were big money guys at the time, big fundraisers. But they decided they would try to bring my wife into the loop, and seated next to one of the big fundraisers, who will remain nameless, was my wife. In the middle of the dinner, my wife let out a huge horse laugh. I mean, just bellowed it out. As only my wife, she's 5'2", but mighty. And I later asked her, I said, babe, what in the world was that? And she said, well, he asked me what I'd think of you running for office. And I said, babe, what are you doing? I mean, what if I'd wanted to be a politician, wanted to run for office? She said my reaction would have been exactly the same. So with a wife that honest, I can't afford the many pitfalls and dangers that come with political office. I have one thing I truly believe. I have no interest in being a politician. For one thing, I think anyone, and I have said, there is no way in the world I would be a politician. I've lost a lot of respect for politicians. And I don't think that I would, if I wanted to be a politician, I don't think anybody should vote for me. Because I've said I wouldn't be one. You know, and one of the and I really couldn't tolerate putting up with other politicians. I kind of like being an advocacy journalist. You know, this way I can just be critical as hell of all of them. And what would I do about it? Well, the first thing I do, and I swear to you, the first thing I would do as President of the United States, I would try like hell to restore integrity and honesty and forthrightness to the national leadership, to the national dialogue and debate. And I would do one thing I know for sure. I'd make damn certain that the political office of the White House had no role in the administration of any cabinet department. I would make damn sure that if you're in the Labor Department, you were representing labor. If you were in Health and Human Services, you were taking care of the people. And I'd get rid of every damn speechwriter. And I would insist that presidents actually say what they mean and mean what they say. And I think that'd be a pretty good start. And then after I got ran out of town.
Well, let's talk about your roots a little bit, business news. It's seeing some interesting developments lately, including Rupert Murdoch's bid for Dow Jones. How would you feel if he takes possession of the Wall Street Journal, given his plans to launch a cable business channel? And how would you size up the media environment generally, given that would-be development?
Well, good for Rupert. The New York Times doing a wonderful analysis of News Corp. I always like it when one news organization goes after another news organization, because you know there's going to be a lot of ink slopping around. And I can't wait to see how the New York Post and the other Murdoch publications and networks respond, because that ought to be truly thrilling. I think the concentration of media is an issue that has to be dealt with in this country. One of my favorite presidents was Theodore Roosevelt. He understood that there is such a thing as a business too large. The trust-busting era was important. We have watched the rollback of the 1984 dismantling of AT&T and the Arbox and the regional bells. It's reassembled only bigger and better. It's mind-boggling. But the concentration of media, 8 companies basically dominating national media. At the same time, each is reducing its news budget, its staffing. I just can't conceive of Rupert Murdoch, frankly, owning the Wall Street Journal. It is one of the publications I respect most in this country, led by my friend Paul Steiger, the managing editor for years, Norm Pearlstein before him, Peter Kahn, the chairman, the publisher. They've done a marvelous job. It is hard for me to understand how the publisher of the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal are the same fellow. But then again, you know, it's America. Why should we worry about these little things? I'm sure it'll all be okay. And please don't wake up anyone over there at the FCC. Don't worry about anybody. God, don't tell Trent Lott. Trent Lott, you know, didn't want those ownership rules changed back in 2003, and he was adamant about it. But as the New York Times reported, he got a $250,000 publishing contract from one of Rupert's publishing companies, and then decided that a 39% ownership level was fine nationwide after all. And he rationalized that by saying, well, at least it wasn't 45% like Michael Powell, the chairman of the FCC at the time, wanted. So I've just got the deepest respect for our government and the process that all of that corporate money and power has engendered. Don't worry about it. Okay, worry about it.